Hello and welcome to another edition of the Michigan Conservative Roundtable. We are like the five, but there's only three of us and without Dana Perino. Today you're going to get a Marty monologue, and I'm going to talk about Peter Buttigieg, Mayor Pete, the mayor of South Bend, Indiana, and one of a plethora, as you know, of Democratic candidates for president. Buttigieg, Mayor Pete, tried to pick a fight with Vice President Pence here a while back, saying, you know, he's openly gay, the mayor is. Tried to pick a fight with Vice President Pence, who's a conservative evangelical Christian, saying, you know, if you've got a problem with my sexuality, you've got a problem with my creator. I really don't want to talk about gay marriage per se right now. You know, let's be honest, that ship's kind of sailed, and for as far as I can see into the future, that's probably going to be the law of the land, and the liberal Christians are going to keep performing it anyway. So sadly, we're just not going to do anything about that. But I would like to tell Mayor Pete that he needs to be very careful about presuming God's will, particularly when God's will for literally several thousand years now goes against what he's saying. We're talking about church authorities, various theologians through the years, the entire Judeo-Christian tradition. Active homosexuality was seen as clearly wrong, and he needs to be very, very careful about questioning God's will, especially accusing somebody else of doing something evil or bad with regard to God's will. But what really irritates me about you have a problem with my creator is it's just another variation of the born this way attitude. I'm born this way, you have to accept me as I am, you know, and no questions asked, I'm just born this way. Well, an awful lot of people are just born this way, depending on exactly how you interpret this way. Some people are born with poor tempers, and you know what we tell those people when they lose their tempers? Don't lose your temper. That's what we tell them. Okay? We tell people not to rob, not to steal, and so forth. The real bottom line here is born this way. If being born this way justifies how people can act, then we can't tell people anything, which also means we can't improve society at all, okay? But obviously we do try to tell people things. We have prisons full of people who are trying to tell things. We have op-eds in newspapers and YouTube channels such as the Michigan Conservative Roundtable. The entire political process really is trying to tell people what to do. Don't vote for that man, he's bad, okay? So we're constantly trying to tell people what to do about it. My real beef is I feel like the progressives are just so hypocritical about it that it becomes annoying or even enraging. I mean, I'm a conservative. Why am I not justified? Because I was born this way. And I rather believe I was born this way. Now, that doesn't mean that I should not look out to improve my person. But the real problem with the left is they're not going to give me that much. They're not going to give me that much leeway. We're just wrong. We conservatives are just wrong, and that's all there is to it, okay? We're just intolerant and bigoted, and the term is only used to suit their purposes, and never mind that I don't see the useful distinction. If Mayor Pete was born this way, I was born this way, Mac was born this way, TJ was born this way, either we all get to act on how we were born, or we all have to seek the ways and methods to change our attitudes and our outlooks and our actions so that we become better persons. Really, it just shows the complete arrogance on the side of the progressives in this day and age. They preach change, but they won't change themselves. I do wonder, it leaves me to wonder whether they've actually really seriously questioned their actions and their motives at all. I do wonder if maybe Mayor Pete is the one with the problem with our creator, Mayor Pete. Maybe you're the one that needs to engage in a little bit of self-examination there, and not Vice President Pence. The real bottom line is being born this way, whatever way that is, does not justify one single action. All right, I said I didn't want to talk about marriage, but this is more like traditional marriage, not gay marriage. Even a man and woman who are free to marry, you know, that marriage is not a moral good because they agreed to get married. That marriage is a moral good because it works along the line of the traditional definition of marriage, which is one man and one woman for life. That's why traditional heterosexual marriage is morally acceptable. And even that has nothing to do with the man and the woman involved. Nothing whatsoever. Sports, baseball. Baseball is another good example. You don't have the right to play baseball because you're a bomb third baseman. No, you don't. You got the right to play baseball because it's legitimate recreation and entertainment, not because you've got some great proclivity for playing baseball or hitting a baseball. Baseball is morally all right in and of itself, and that's why it's okay for you to play baseball. In short, we can morally do something if it's already we can morally do something only if it's already moral. Now that sounds circular or an oxymoron perhaps, but it's very, very true. The thing in question has to be moral first before we can legitimately do anything. And being born this way or that way or any other way has absolutely nothing to do with the question. That's your Marty monologue for today. Thank you for listening and watching. Please like or comment, subscribe to us. And as we always say at the Michigan Conservative Roundtable, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.